We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hey, hello everybody. How you doing? I'm back. So last week I was crappy and sickly all week. Didn't feel well. I was congested and stuff, so didn't do a whole lot and neglected to do the podcast because I figured I didn't feel great and it was going to sound like garbage anyway. So, but I'm back and everything seems to be okay. I feel a lot better. Back to work. Well, I was at work the whole time, but back to normal, I guess. And back to cardiac rehab. I skipped it last week. I didn't want to spread my disease, whatever it was. So I'm back in there. Went back today, right back to the same level of strain that I was on before skipping it because I was sick. And it felt good. It felt good to get back in there, and it didn't seem to suffer very much from not having been in there last week. I went right back in at the same levels that I was at when the previous week before I was out sick. So, it felt good, and I think I'm doing well. Today was the 23rd cardiac rehab visit, so I still have a few left to go. I think it's 36 visits. It's 36 sessions. So I've done 23. And so, I got a little ways to go. And once that's over, or once we're approaching the end, then I'm going to have to, make some decisions. We're going to have to figure out, when do I go back to martial arts? When do I go back and do my first return jujitsu class? To go easy and slow and try to see if I'm still doing it. I'm confident that it'll be okay. So I'm doing that. But it's going to be a few weeks yet because, like I said, I have follow-up appointments with doctors in December, and my cardiac rehab should be done sometime in December. And I'll have to make a decision, though. The doctors will have to make their recommendations. I will either ignore them or not. So it's possible that I might just ignore them because, I can do that. It's me. It's my heart and my body and my life. And if I wanted to ignore the doctor's recommendations, then I will. But I don't think they're going to, tell me that I can't physically exercise. I've been doing physical exercise, this whole time during cardiac rehab and working out at home. So I think we're fine. But whether or not there's any negative effect, I guess, is what we'll be looking for when it comes time to do the thing, to actually get out there and do the class and see what happens. See if people feel weird rolling with me because I've had a heart attack or two. And see if I feel weird rolling with people because I've had a heart attack or two. But I don't think it's going to, I don't think it's going to hinder me that much unless I start to feel it. If I'm doing too much and I start to feel it somehow, then of course I'll have to listen to my body and back off or ease up or something. But I'm as good as I'm going to get as far as the stents and the angio and stuff like that goes. So until there's another event of some sort, I don't think there's anything else they're going to do for me or to me in order to, get my heart back. I think it's where it's going to be. So we're just going to have to figure it out as we go along. And I'm looking forward to it, actually. I really am. I want to I want to get back in there and do these things. So I'm anxious for these classes to end and for me to be able to just go with it and figure out because I need to figure out what I can do and what I can't do. So far, I can do everything. I'm back at work. I'm doing normal stuff. I'm doing some things that require a lot of physical activity, some things that require exertion, and so I don't foresee there being any serious problem with me going back to a martial arts routine. But you never know. So I have to be open to the idea that who knows, it may not work and I may not be able to do it, even though I want to. But I think that it should be okay. And look, hey, there's another camera and they both work and it's fine. Anyway, this one has better color. I don't know why. This one has decided to ignore the camera settings that I gave it earlier. I set it up with all the right lighting and doing all the things, and it looked nice. Came in here and fired the computer up after dinner, and it will no longer adjust to the settings that I gave it. I don't know why. I went into the software and told it to use certain settings, and it's just ignoring me. It's not changing anything. So I don't know what to do about that. And that's the one that I paid full retail for. It's not even the $10 used one that I got online. So it's extra annoying. So I don't know what to do about that. But I had several days while I was sick and while I was not doing the podcast that I was playing around with this stuff and trying to make everything work. And I just kept running into one thing after another. And I got so frustrated that I pretty much would just turn it off and walk away because I started having video synchronization problems where the audio and the video wasn't synced. And then I started having just regular audio problems where the audio wasn't coming across right. And I was having recording issues. The thing kept crashing on me, and it's just been one fiasco after another trying to do this. I'm just trying to do a podcast, people. Give me a break. It's not rocket surgery, right? So at least that's what we think. And I don't know. Hopefully it sounds okay and hopefully it looks okay for everybody who's watching or listening. But, I don't know if it does at this point because in my headphones right now, I can hear the echo from this room because we haven't done enough sound treatment in this room to stop all of the echo. So I can hear it. I don't know if I won't know until afterwards if it's showing up in the recording or not. And I have lights on me and all these things, and I did all the stuff. I did the things with the stuff about that they say you got to do this, you got to do that, you have to change your settings, you have to change your lighting, you have to do this. And I've got three lights like on me, and you can't see them in the cameras, but they're literally within 3 feet of me, three different lights at different angles, trying to, you know, do what people say you need to do in order to get the best picture from this particular webcam that's decided to just ignore all my settings anyway. So, waste of time, waste of time. And that's the one I paid good money for. It wasn't that expensive, but still, it's the brand new one that I bought. It's not used or beat up. And the one that's used and a little beat up and you have to wiggle the connector, it's working fine. It does what I want it to do. It's that one. Yeah, right there. Works just fine. Brand new one? No. It's like screw your settings. I'm going to do what I want. It's the Cartman of webcams. Anyhow, that's where we're at today. And look, I've got UFO hearings playing in the background because I'm trying to. Oh, I thought I recognized that person, but I don't. So, yeah, I'm trying to get caught up on that because I'm talking about it on another podcast. I'm doing another podcast about conspiracy theories and stuff. So I haven't yet watched the whole thing. I listened to about 30 minutes of it in the car when I was on the day that it happened. So I need to go back and finish watching the whole hearing and make fun of everybody because most of them are the same yahoos that have been trying to pass the same garbage for years and years and years. And It's just not good. So anyway, that's a different subject. So I I thought that tonight I would bring the class that we do, because at cardiac rehab you do a little class, like 10 or 15-minute class before you start your cardiac exercise. And that's the normal routine. You go in, you hook up to the heart monitor, because you wear that the whole time you're there. They take your blood pressure. Then they, give you this, brief class on a subject that's related to, your heart and things like that. And then you go do your 30 minutes of exercise. Well, I was going to bring that because, I keep all the sheets and everything. You have a binder and books, and I'm keeping all these things. And I was going to just bring the class, you know, um, papers and talk about those during the podcast. And then we didn't have a class. I've had all the classes. So, yeah, they're like, well, the class that's on the schedule you've already had, so you don't need it. So just go get on the treadmill. And that's what I did. Went and got on the treadmill for 30 minutes. So there was no class, and then that left me with no material to bring for the podcast, which was my plan. Yeah, I was gonna. I'm getting cords all messed up. Anyway, yeah. So that ruined my plan. So now I'm just sitting here with a cup of coffee after dinner and winging it. So, but that's a good recap for post being sick and being back at cardiac rehab. It felt good, so I was glad to go. I did realize that our treadmill here at home, we have a treadmill. We bought it years ago when I was in the military so that I could, stay on track with doing the PT test and stuff. And ours is wrong. The settings of it are wrong. They don't match the professional level equipment that they have at the cardiac rehab facility. So it's interesting because I I set the treadmill, our treadmill, on the same settings that they have me putting them on at the facility. And it kicked my ass. It was way harder to do than it is at cardiac rehab. And I think it's because our thing is not accurate and is not true. So when you're, if you have it on a 3.4 over there, put it on a 3.4 here, and it's really like a 4.2. And so it became a nightmare of trying to do the treadmill the other day because it was way harder. I had to back off, and I was like, something's wrong. I thought it was me, and I thought something was terribly wrong, that I had all of a sudden become incapable of staying on the treadmill for 30 minutes. But it was something's wrong. The elevation is probably more too. So it was brutal. And I was having to walk easily a quarter faster than I do at cardiac rehab. So yeah, we figured it out that my treadmill at home has inaccurate numbers on it, and so I kind of suspected it a long time ago because I had two knee surgeries in 2008. So we've had this treadmill since probably around then, 2008, 2009, and it still works. So it's not an issue. Some of the little electronic things don't work anymore. Like it won't give you your pulse rate anymore. Um, Things like that. But the little fan thing still works, and the treadmill itself still works, and it folds up. So it's a folding kind. You can fold it up and lean it over and roll it. It has wheels, but it still weighs like, I don't know, 150 pounds or whatever. So I kind of suspected that it wasn't accurate before because when I was after my knee surgeries, I was on the walking profile for the physical fitness test for the military, the PT test that you have to take. And I had a profile that said no running because I had two knee surgeries that year. And so they give you however long, and I think it was actually like 5 years. They put me on this 5 year profile. So where after a while, running was optional. If I felt like I could run, and it was kind of like build yourself up to it. but I had to do the walk. And the walk is, if I remember correctly, it's 2.5 miles in 20 some odd minutes. So you have to run 2 miles in like, between, depending on your age, between 16 and 25 minutes. But when you're doing the walk, you have to walk 2.5 miles, I think, and you only have like 20. I had 27 and a half minutes, I think, is what it was. So you walk at a really good clip. You can't just, meander. You have to speed walk basically the whole way. And I would train to do the distance, in the amount of time. And I would struggle to reach that, on the treadmill. I would be like, man, it's a lot of work for me to get to this, distance within this amount of time. And I just thought, you're just weak. You can't do this. You're not going to make it. You're going to fail the PT test. And so when I went to do the walking PT test, I came in way early. And I mean, like way early. It wasn't like I was 10 minutes faster or anything, but I came in with plenty of time to spare. And I was running around, walking around the track really fast, as fast as I could walk for 2.5 miles, thinking, I really got to push myself because I struggled to make it, at home, and it was just too hard, and so I've got to keep pushing myself and pushing myself to go faster and take longer strides and things like that because I thought I wasn't going to make it, and I came in with plenty of time, and so the home treadmill, the distance and the time and the speed just wasn't matching up. It wasn't accurate at all, and so I kind of suspected that before. But then you kind of write that off to, okay, I'm actually doing the thing now. So I'm gonna, I've got the adrenaline running and I'm ready to go. I'm motivated. So maybe that made some difference. But now it's pretty much confirmed that our at-home treadmill is way off. So we're actually working harder at home than I am at cardiac rehab, and so but it's fine. I guess it's if you're going to have something wrong, um, an exercise machine that makes you work harder than you would be, I guess is okay. So you just kind of have to ignore how far you ran or walked or whatever, and at what pace, because it's probably not true. You were actually running faster than you thought you were, or walking faster than you thought you were, because the difference was noticeable. And I'm assuming that their equipment is, better kept, and it's professional grade stuff. It probably cost several thousands of dollars, and has stickers on it. I don't know. It's probably calibrated or something or inspected. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, ours is wrong, and so we've been working a lot harder at home than at the gym, which is good, I guess. If you're going to have something wrong, that's a good thing to have wrong. So I'm going to be back at it tomorrow, more cardiac rehab tomorrow, and then day off on Wednesday, which means do a bunch of stuff at home. Then Thursday and 23. This was number 23. Tomorrow will be 24. So we're getting nearer to the end, and as we get closer to the end, we're going to have to change up the workouts a little bit at home and see if I can start working the muscle groups and things that I'm going to need when I go back to jujitsu. So it's going to be some different exercises. I'm going to be doing some body weight stuff and, some push ups, sit ups, pull ups, and things like that I'm going to need. And some other, along with regular strength training stuff. And so we're going to have to track some of that and try to put together a routine that will get me back into getting crushed all the time and trying to lift a 250-pound person off of you because you're getting crushed. And that's how jujitsu goes for me. But it's fun, so I'm going to do it. And until then, more cardiac rehab, more eating right, more stuff. And the eating right thing, I don't know how it's going. For the most part, it's going okay. We're doing all right. But, you can't just eat an avocado and an apple a day. You have to have proteins, and there's only so many ways you can cook a chicken or a chicken breast, even because it's just the boring chicken breast. There's only so many things you can do with it, as we've discussed before, and in the end, it's still a chicken breast. The most boring part of a chicken, the white meat chicken breast. And so, we had red meat today. We don't have that very often anymore, so it was kind of a treat. And we're struggling to find things that will satisfy the dietary expectations and still be able to come up with creative ways to cook them. So we've kind of backslid a little bit, a few days where I definitely ate too much of things that I probably shouldn't have been eating. But every once in a while you kind of got to treat yourself, right? So that's what we did a few days. But everything else is still good, and we're still on track and still doing all the medicines, all the same medicines. I don't know if that's going to change after the appointments in December or not. I don't know. But I hope something changes because it's like a whole handful of pills that I have to take every morning. And luckily, I'm not having any more weird reactions to any of them. I seem to be tolerating everything that I'm taking now, and everything seems to be going well. My blood pressure is still like right at that level where they're like, yeah, we should bring it down a little bit more. But there haven't been any medication changes or anything like that. So we'll see about that in December as well. And again, exercising tonight dropped my blood pressure by 10 points on both ends, the diastolic and systolic. So that's all good. And nobody seems to be concerned about it. And it's not incredibly high anyway. It's like 132 over 84, something like that. So it's not way up there, but it's a little bit above what everybody considers to be normal. But after exercise, it was 122 over 74, I think is what it was. So it's good, and I'm happy with it. And I'll be happy if I don't have to take any other pills or any more medication for any of that stuff. And if this is all I have to take, I can take all these forever. It's fine, but hopefully I don't have to add any new ones to it. And as time goes on, I'm supposed to be able to get off of some of those. So hopefully that will happen. But the blood thinners, apparently it's at least a year you're on it. And sometimes people are on it forever. Who knows? I don't know what category I'm going to fall in. So, but only time will tell. And I probably won't be doing a podcast whenever all of that is decided because it's going to be 5 or 6 years from now. And everyone will have gotten tired of me by then. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. And I will post a couple other ones this week to keep you guys posted and let you know how things are going and how the preparations for ending cardiac rehab are going. So stay with me and, have fun. I don't know, listen to me yammering. And if you want to, go check out the other podcast. It's called Really Just Stop. But we'll, if everything goes well with the cardiac stuff, I don't know if this podcast will continue forever. But, I'm going to be doing one of them forever. But who knows? Maybe it'll eventually be popular with people and they'll want to hear about having heart attacks and doing martial arts. I don't know. I didn't think I would ever be interested in that, but then I had a heart attack. It's something that you didn't plan on listening to a podcast about a person having a heart attack until you have a heart attack. And you're like, oh, I need to know what happened to everybody else. So I've learned a lot from other people actually who had these similar experiences. Other, people who are kind of famous who have talked about it and done interviews and things to let people know that they had this thing happen and how it affected them and stuff. So that was helpful when I was recovering. That other people, their experiences were very similar to mine. So it was helpful to see that they had already recovered and that they were back to their life, at 100%. So it gave me some encouragement that I could do the same thing. It seems like they weren't as bad as me, as mine. with 4 stents and angio, and we would love to do open heart surgery, but sorry, we can't do that. So, but still encouraging. You can still look at it and be encouraged and be inspired that I don't know. I'll be fine. I'm going to be fine, and you can think that, and then maybe it'll be true. I don't know, but I feel good right now. I feel good. Everything's fine. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I feel good when I'm exercising. I haven't had any problems. I'm not having the chest pressure issue as often. I still have it sometimes, but there are times when I don't have it, which is fine. So there's days. Sometimes it's a couple days, and I haven't had any chest pressure or anything like that. So it's all good. That's an improvement that I'm happy about. So we'll keep you posted, and I will. Um, let's see, I'm pushing the wrong buttons now and stuff. So sorry. Oops. Anyway, I'm gonna go, and I will catch you guys soon. And I hope you have a great week and get off your ass and go get on the treadmill, even if it's inaccurate. Just get on it and walk until you sweat a lot, and you'll be fine. Bye.